Well, hello, my lovelies. It's Murky Meg here. Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is Saturday, the 17th of February, and on and on and on it goes. Will it never end? Who knows? Have I woken up this morning with amnesia, or have I fallen into another dimension where reality isn't actually reality? It's fiction. Because it seems like it. Because the Times, yes, that very reputable UK newspaper, broadsheet I might add, not a tabloid, broadsheet, has done something rather strange. And when I say strange, I really do mean strange. They've reported something so far-fetched that it kind of twisted my head a little bit. You think, how could this even be possible? How could they be even fooled? But I suppose what they're doing is reporting what they have been told, because according to Kate Menzel, who is the assistant editor at the time and apparently an award-winning journalist, royal editor and commentator, says last night the Duke of Sussex is willing to return to a temporary royal role in support of his father during his illness, sources have revealed. In an attempt to help heal the rift in the family, the King and Prince Harry are said to have had several warm exchanges since Charles received his cancer diagnosis. The Duke is now understood to have told friends that he would step into a royal role while his father is unwell. Now, as we all know, Harry is Councillor of State, although he will never be asked to step in because he's not a working royal. Yet the Times have said to heal the rift, Harry is now said to be focused on reconciling himself with his family. Now, apparently, a royal insider said to the Times, on all practical levels, it makes perfect sense for the family to come together to support the king while he's sick. Much has been said on both sides in recent years. On both sides. I'm sorry, I haven't heard the royal family's side at all. All I've heard are Harry and Meghan's side. The royal family have remained stum. But the article continues, but that has never diminished the fundamental bond of blood. And there are now pragmatic aspects to consider, with the king and with Kate's well-being paramount to this. The details of the Clarence House meeting and subsequent conversations are private, but the feeling is that this arrangement could work. So now it all makes sense. Now, I did a video yesterday on Harry's interview with GMA. I've popped a link up in the right-hand corner if you haven't seen that. Basically, he said that he loves his family. And now it all makes sense. As soon as I read this, I knew that exactly which camp this had come out of. It's not come out of the royal family's camp. It's come directly out of Harry's and Meghan's camp. Because, quite frankly, only in their own delusional minds would they think that they would be welcome back to the UK as part-time working royals. Either Harry or Meghan or both. It just isn't going to work. One, because they've done so much damage to the royal family. Do you really think Prince William would let that happen? In fact, I suspect it will probably go down this route. It's either me or him. And who do you think the king is going to side with? The spare or the heir? And just to remind everybody about the headlines that occurred during this 4 years of the fallout, I have popped some in this video. And two, the British public would not have it. The majority of the UK absolutely hates what Harry has done to the royal family. And the ones that don't care are either massive Meghan Markle fans, which not many people are in the UK, but she does have a few stans here, or they are part of the Republic movement who want to see the monarchy abolished. But I really don't know what has gotten into the Times, because in this article they write a written plan would have to be drawn up and actioned by the king and his closest aides before Harry and Meghan could embark on any official duties on behalf of the monarch. Harry would not receive public funds. Now cast your minds back to the Sandringham Agreement in January 2020, where they put before they even discussed it with Buckingham Palace, they put on their manifesto website, Sussex Royal, that they wanted to be half in, half out, and they thought that that was a brilliant idea because they could have their cake and eat it. The monarch at the time, obviously, the beloved late Queen Elizabeth II, basically said, no way, sunshine. You cannot be half in, half out. You're either all in or all out. Now, I have several several issues with this is why on earth have the Times run with this when they know for a fact that this is just not possible. Half in, half out doesn't work, even on a temporary basis. The fact that if Prince Harry was to do any royal engagements in the UK, can you imagine the reception that he would get from the British public? Tomatoes would be thrown. Obviously, I jest in that because that's going back to medieval times where tomato and rotten fruit and rotten vegetables were thrown at people in the stocks. Speaking of medieval times, things like this would actually get you thrown in the tower of what Harry has done. Yeah, oh, the good times. I honestly don't know how the idiot could even discuss this with friends, thinking that this was a viable option. Does he think that he's the only one that can save the monarchy? No, mate, the monarchy's doing absolutely fine. It's just a little bump with health. Nobody's going anywhere. And then it struck me. What does Harry want most in the entire world? And that's his security back. If he was to come back, in his mind, he would be protected by the Royal Protection Officers, which is exactly what he wants. He's even fighting our government's Home Office to reinstate his Royal Protection security. What really annoys me the most is that he is using the royal family's health issues, his father's cancer diagnosis, to get what he ultimately wants, which is a half in, half out with full security at his beck and call. That to me speaks volumes of his character, that he would even think about that at a time like this. I'm going to read a tweet by a fantastic account on Twitter/X, and it's UnlikelyBot. They do some amazing tweets, and they said, those speculating that the king will grant his darling boy the half in, half out, let's look at what the king has actually done. Overseas, uninvited, evicted, too busy, third row, no room, 30 minutes. I think that puts it perfectly. By all means, Harry, like you said in the interview, you've got several things in the pipeline that will allow you to come to Britain or come to Britain via going somewhere else. Visit your family, i.e. your father, because nobody else wants to see you, in private, but don't expect to take on any duties with regards to the royal family, because there will literally be a revolt on the streets. Don't get me wrong, I don't think this is happening at all. This is just in Harry's head, what he thinks that he can do. He's like, I'm the saviour, I'll step in and everybody will be okay. That's his delusional head speaking. It's never going to happen. And the fact that it's even entered his head just shows you just how delusional he is. The fact that he thinks that he can do exactly what he and his wife have done over the last 4 years and then think, I'll just step in and save the monarchy. Yay! Well done, Harry. How's that going to work, Harry, when you can't even be in the same room as Camilla? Yeah, no sunshine. It's not going to work. See, this is the thing. It's reported that he has offered, not necessarily that offer has been taken up. It would be such a bad idea, and I don't actually think any of the royal family want this one bit, especially William. Now, I don't doubt that Charles wants a relationship, a personal relationship. After all, he is his son, regardless of what he has done, but I don't think they can come back in any capacity whatsoever as working royals. I say they, but I mean Harry, because we all know that Meghan Markle will not step foot on UK soil unless there's something that she gets out of it. However, a narcissist will never put themselves in a situation where they fear of being rejected or abandoned. Female narcissists especially deeply fear exposure and being called out. I would just like to add, we have to not forget that Harry divulged private information about Prince William's body, and he really, really did. He said that he didn't marry for love, he only married a clone. And the things he said about Camilla, about being a wicked stepmother, are just, you can't come back from that. But royal editor of the Daily Mail, Rebecca English, said this morning, the answer to this is a firm no, I understand. King Charles will continue, of course, to keep the door ajar on a personal basis, but the royal family are in solid agreement that Queen Elizabeth II's belief any quasi-royal role is unworkable still stands. She reports this morning that experts say neither side want him and Meghan back in the UK despite Duke's olive brunch interview. Now, Buckingham Palace haven't actually commented on these reports, but people in the know have basically said, no, it's not going to happen. It's just a pipe dream of Harry's, basically. So the message is well and truly, you can come and visit in a private capacity, but under no certain terms will you pick up any royal duties whatsoever. This was directly from the Sussex camp, and it was one of their biggest tall tales or wishes, because if he seriously thinks that he can just rock up to the UK, pick up where he left off, and then bugger off back to California, he's sorely mistaken. Look, we all know that his transatlantic dash to spend 15 to 30 minutes with his father was all for PR, and the GMA interview just proves that. It gave him something to talk about. And the fact, as I said in yesterday's video, that Harry didn't say to Will Reeves, actually, no, don't mention anything about the king. I won't respond. I just won't. But he actually spoke about it, shows you exactly what type of character he is. He used his father's information, although he didn't give a lot of information, to gain PR. And I think that, it doesn't sit right with me, personally. I knew exactly when I saw this article from the Times where it came from, and I knew that it was just unworkable from both sides. It really, really does. But I still firmly believe that, as always, Harry is doing this. His little brain's going, oh, I can get back in and get my security, and I won't have to sue the Home Office and get absolutely ridiculed when they say no again. But what do you all think? Do you think that this is a delusional pipe dream that Harry has conceived in his own mind, and he thinks, oh yeah, I can save them all and I'll get my security back too? Or do you think actually it's quite a good idea? And what do you think the royal family are actually feeling about this? As always, I would love to know your thoughts.
Thank you very much for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, hit the notification bell, and also that like button. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank all of my followers for all the tips and all the emails, DMs that everybody sends to me. It really is greatly appreciated. So thank you very much for watching once again.